Now on 12, we're tracking the snow as it hits our borough. Chris Nallen brings you the latest details with weather on the 2s. Plus,
I'm John Diaz, and we'll have the latest on the city's efforts to fight this winter storm. That story's coming up next.
And Bill de Blasio sits down with President Obama in Washington. We have details on their meeting when your hyperlocal news starts now.
As local news gets. News 12, Brooklyn.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on this Saturday, December 14th. I'm Alisha Laventure. Brooklynites are bundling up as a snowstorm is in the area. Our John Diaz has the latest on the preparations to combat the winter blast.
The snow is continuing to fall here in Brooklyn, making for both a scenic view, but also for some messy road conditions. Now, the New York City Department of Sanitation Commissioner tells me that 365 salt spreaders are out in full force right now, with additional crews and trucks providing aid in parts of the city that's getting hit the hardest. Crews are working in split shifts and have been since this morning to make sure our roads are safe 24/7. They started to salt around 9 o'clock this morning and will continue to all afternoon and into this evening. But if the snow continues, the commissioner says he will bring in additional reinforcements.
We have the capability of probably putting out 1,800 plows this evening if we need to, but right now it looks like we won't need them.
And now the commissioner tells me that he doesn't expect any major problems this evening on any roadways, but to stay extra cautious since we are under a winter weather advisory until tomorrow morning. And that's the story from Gowanus. John Diaz, News 12 Brooklyn.
Well, the Department of Sanitation's got its work cut out for them. Meteorologist Chris Nallen's got more with your weather on the 2s. We have one school cancellation to tell you about. All Mercy College campuses in New York City are now closed for today due to the storm. Stay with News 12 throughout the day for all of your weather-related news. Police say one person is dead after a traffic accident in Cypress Hills that happened just before 3 a.m. Emergency units responded to the accident at the corner of Arlington Avenue and Highland Place. Responding officers determined after viewing surveillance cameras that a dark blue Nissan sedan operated by an unknown person was traveling southbound on Highland Place when he collided with 22-year-old Elvis Batista Francisco. He was operating a moped. The driver of the Nissan remained on the scene. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Workers in the area say it was a chaotic happening.
I see a lot of police, a lot of cops yesterday. I see he stand to watch the camera from like 2 o'clock to 4 in the morning.
Police are also investigating an early morning shooting in Brownsville. Just before 2 a.m., cops found a man with gunshot wounds at 40 Glenmore Avenue. He was taken to Brookdale Hospital in serious condition. No arrests have been made in this shooting. If you have any information regarding these cases, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS. And remember, all calls are confidential. In news around the country, Mayor-elect Bill de Blasio visited President Obama at the White House yesterday, along with 15 other newly elected mayors. President Obama invited them to discuss urban issues. The president says our nation's cities are central to the economic progress of the overall country. De Blasio said it's important to know he's got the president's full support.
Just want to say on behalf of my colleagues, all of us newly elected mayors from all over the country, I think it was, to begin with, inspiring to hear our president. His concern for what we're facing, his understanding of the problems of our city, it was quite clear, it was quite sharp. He was quick to make clear how much he wanted to help us as we go through our transitions and help our cities as the leading edge of our national economy.
The goal of the meeting was to discuss jobs and what the Obama administration could do to help job creation and ensure that middle-class families have a pathway to opportunity. Tragic news out of Colorado. A student opens fire at a high school Friday, injuring at least one person before turning the gun on himself. Authorities in Centennial, Colorado say the gunman showed up at Arapahoe High School openly carrying a shotgun. The sheriff said school officials immediately made a crucial call that likely prevented a greater tragedy.
The gunman came into the school and immediately asked for the location of a very specific teacher, and he named that teacher by name. When the teacher heard that this individual was asking for him, the teacher exited the school immediately. In my opinion, was the most important tactical decision that could have been made.
Officials say one of the victims is a minor with serious injuries. More than 2,000 students attend Arapahoe High School. This is just 8 miles east of Columbine High School, where 2 teenage shooters killed 12 classmates and a teacher back in 1999. News of the tragedy reached the White House during yesterday's mayor's meeting, and Bill de Blasio says President Obama explained to the new mayors what happened.
Well, the president said very somberly that the shooting had occurred. Obviously, none of us have the details yet, but he informed the room. You know, the note was passed to him, and he informed the room immediately, and we all cringed. And we've all seen this too many times in this country. We didn't get into a lengthy conversation, but you know, the immediate comment in the room from some of the mayors was, how can we use our abilities? How can we use our local capacity and our bully pulpits to try and move forward sensible gun control legislation? Because until we do that, you know, there's too many dangers out there. That's where people were focused.
What do you think?
And today marks the 1-year anniversary of the horrific Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. President Obama and the First Lady lit candles in honor of the victims and also observed a moment of silence. 20 students and 6 adults were killed in the violent attack on the Newtown, Connecticut school. The gunman killed himself shortly after the shooting. Now, this brings us to our question of the day. Would stricter gun control legislation stop gun violence in schools? Let us know what you think at news12.com or channel 612 on Optimum TV. I'm Alisha Laventure, and you're watching News 12 Brooklyn. Coming up next, we'll tell you what a new study is saying about texting that may surprise many parents and their children. Stay tuned. So we're counting down the top stories of 2013, and we need your help. Head over to news12.com and click on the top stories link to watch and vote for what you think was our biggest story of the year. You can also type in your choice for a story that you feel should be on the list. Then starting Saturday, December 22nd, we'll reveal the top stories as picked by you, our viewers. A new study finds teenagers are less likely than adults to use their cell phones while driving. According to AAA, 82% of adults ages 25 to 39 use their phone behind the wheel, with 43% admitting to using it fairly often. When it comes to teens, just 58% said they use their phone while driving. Adults 60 and older were the least likely to report using their cell phones behind the wheel. So we want to hear from you. Head over to Facebook and leave us a comment by searching for News 12 Brooklyn, and we may share it with our viewers. In your 12 on Schools report, some high school seniors in Bensonhurst aren't taking any chances when it comes to mailing in their college applications. Yesterday, they marched right up to the mail carrier and hand-delivered their completed forms. This officially marks the completion of the application process, which means time for celebration. NYC Outward Bound School held a pep rally for its seniors, and you can see the place was filled with excited students carrying banners and cheering on those seniors. The school does this every year to congratulate them and to encourage the underclassmen to apply to college.
I feel like I'm making my mother proud, and that's like all I wanted to do in life, and I'm striving for more.
I was not expecting all of this. I thought my college process was just going to be me applying, just handing in my application, and I have this whole big ceremony, and it's really exciting.
More than 600 seniors from NYC Outward Bound schools across the city did the very same thing, marched their applications to local post offices or mail trucks. Students here in Brooklyn joined in with others across the country yesterday to take part in a push to promote computer science in the classroom. The students at PS 282 in Park Slope learned how to code on both computers and iPads during the national event Hour of Code. The nonprofit group Code.org sponsored the event, and with technology at the palms of most of our hands, organizers say it's important for kids to learn more about coding and computers in general.
A lot of students, once they get into high school, haven't had a lot of experience with this, and really the key is working with students at a younger age.
We can identify their strengths and then see what in the technology aspect works to their strength to help them move forward in life.
Community Board 6 is helping to lead efforts like this in our borough. Officials are hoping to teach this kind of coding in all New York City public schools within the next 10 years. Today is definitely an awesome snow day, but how long is the snow going to stick around? Meteorologist Chris Nollen's got more with your storm watch. I'm Alisha Laventure, and this is News 12 Brooklyn. Coming up, hundreds of Brooklynites brave the wintry weather in a run through Bay Ridge. That chilly story up next. In your 12 on Health report, the Centers for Disease Control is urging the public to get flu shots as the flu season picks up. They say last year's flu season was one of the worst, sending more than 3,000 people to the hospital and killing 169 children. They say despite these numbers, the vaccine helped to prevent millions of people from getting sick. However, only 40% of people ages 6 months and older get the shot. They say it's too soon to predict this season's outcome, so the CDC advises you to get your shot while supplies are still plentiful. It was a very happy day for one military family here in our borough, and a local company is dressing Brooklynites for success. News 12's Molly Rokasi is here with that story and more in your Neighborhood Brief.
A Brooklyn-based company is making people feel confident one suit at a time. The company is called Bindle and Keep. It was co-founded by Park Slope resident Daniel Friedman. Friedman says the idea is to create custom suits for everyone, especially transgender and female clients who struggle to find the perfect fit. The entire process happens in the client's homes. A representative from the company comes to discuss design, fabric, and takes measurements. A few weeks later, the suit is hand-delivered. We spoke to a client about the experience. Bindle and Keep was founded about 2.5 years ago, and the owner says they've already sold more than 1,400 suits. For more information on Bindle and Keep, you can head over to news12.com and click on numbers and links. In your 12 on Health report, some young patients got a special visit from a beauty queen. Miss New York Amanda Mason stopped by the Brooklyn Hospital Center to spread some holiday cheer to these kids who are suffering from different illnesses. Miss New York brought crowns and tiaras for the kids, and the accomplished opera singer also sang, took pictures, and signed autographs. The beauty queen says the goal was to lift these kids' spirits at a time when they most need it. Miss New York spent most of the day with the kids and says she plans on visiting other children and hospitals in the area. Well, it's a very happy day for one military family as Santa made an unexpected visit a little early this holiday season. Staff Sergeant Michael Tranthaw and his family got an early Christmas courtesy of the Sears Heroes at Home program that helps military families nationwide. They had no idea they would receive gifts from the store and its shoppers. The program has helped 19,000 military families this year alone. The staff sergeant and his family are from Louisiana, but they're currently based in Fort Hamilton. I'm Molly Rokasi, and that was your Neighborhood Brief.
Snow or shine, that was the policy of the first Tomorrow Sports Holiday Half Marathon in Bay Ridge. More than 300 runners braved the freezing temperatures and heavy snowfall to run 13.1 miles along Pier 69. Bundled up supporters cheered on the runners as organizers shoveled and salted the finish line to prevent any slipping. Participants say the weather was tough, but it's all part of the sport.
You know, the fact that there's so many people out here racing on a cold morning in December, I love it. It's why I do this.
Well, you warm up as you're going, but it's definitely cold. The runners are a rare breed. They're not afraid of a little bit of cold weather.
SantaCon is in town, and organizers have tried to keep things from getting out of hand. The event's ringleaders have let police know their plans, and volunteers are helping to control the crowd. The New York celebration attracts tens of thousands of people, and Police Commissioner Ray Kelly says he expects partygoers to be well behaved, but if not, the police will be ready to handle any rowdy revelers.
We want them to enjoy themselves, but in a peaceful, lawful manner, and we will deploy significant numbers of police officers to see to it that happens.
The Long Island Railroad is banning alcohol consumption aboard trains during the bar crawl, and just a heads up, the second annual Brooklyn SantaCon is scheduled for next Saturday, the 21st. I'm Alisha Laventure, and you're watching News 12 Brooklyn. Coming up, Chris Nallen will have the latest on the snow in our borough. Stay tuned.
I'm always on the move. So I rely on
We'll get
News
to your
12
top
to keep me
stories and
going.
weather in just a moment. But
Whether it's getting to the game on time,
Brooklyn bridges that are slow, and we'll take a
getting ready,
Chilly, starting off at 40 from Canarsie 30.
or knowing everything that's happening
Being
around
in the
town.
middle of the road and spring into action.
With the News 12 app, I get the news, traffic, and weather I need. Best of all, they're all free with my Optimum service. The News 12 app for news, traffic, and weather. That's as local news gets.
We are downtown. We are Sheepshead Bay, Fort Hamilton.
We are Park Slope.
We are Coney Island, and everywhere in between.
We are your News 12.
And we're here for you.
With your
local news.
Because if it happens here,
you'll see it here.
On News 12, Brooklyn.
We are as local news gets.
Looking ahead at the rest of the day's weather, you'll note. Can I help you? Well, I thought we're doing weather in twos now. No, it's weather on the twos. News 12 is weather on the twos. I get it.
News 12 Brooklyn is weather on the twos, only on cable. Hey Brooklyn, if you see breaking news or have an interesting event, call us at 718-861-6818 or email us at news12bkln@news12.com.
Last night's $425 million Mega Millions jackpot is only getting bigger today. You may want to test out any luck you think you've got. There were no grand prize winners in last night's Mega Millions drawing, but the next jackpot is projected to be over $550 million. There were 9 tickets sold for last night's drawing that did win the $1 million prize for correctly getting 5 numbers, but not the Mega Ball number. It's Snowpocolypse here in Brooklyn. Chris Nall's got more with your Storm Watch.
All right, a wintry day here across Brooklyn. That is for sure. Winter weather advisory remains in effect, and that could mean about 2 to 5 inches of snow. A little bit less along the shore, but nonetheless, we're still seeing several inches before we transition to some wintry weather, winter mix, and then to rain after midnight. You can see the snow is with us here all across Brooklyn, right down towards, say, Coney Island. It's a cold day, and that wintry line, that wintry mix line, that's what I mean, is coming up the coast here as a low pressure develops. We'll start to see that transition to a wintry mix, or a mess, if you will, into the overnight period. But before we see that changeover, we're looking upwards of anywhere, say, give or take 2 to 4 inches. That should be a very good spread. Again, that winter weather advisory does mean dicey conditions out on the roads right throughout the evening. So we'll see that snow overspreading and developing throughout the day and continue to feed in from the southwest. We'll also see that snow mix again then to rain, say about 10, 11 o'clock. We'll see that change over. Some leftover showers early on your Sunday. It will be chilly and windy, though. Temperatures even colder Monday, Tuesday, maybe some flurries around.
Thank you, Chris. And whether it's a shot of the snow or a picture of you all bundled up, we want you to send us your winter weather pictures. Just upload the shot to our website, news12.com, or tweet us at hashtag BKSnow, and you may even see it on the air. I'm Alisha Laventure, and you're watching News 12 Brooklyn. There's more hyperlocal news coming up in just 2 minutes. Stick around.